This breakdown examines a systemic structural transition currently redefining the global tourism sector based on longitudinal academic analysis. The macro hospitality industry is pivoting entirely away from models of passive consumption. Travelers are no longer satisfied with observing a destination from a distance. The market demand has shifted toward active, internal change. The primary driver of modern travel is now immersive psychological transformation. Destinations are selected based on their capacity to facilitate self-reconfiguration. Adapting to this market shift requires the tourism sector to stop selling purely external experiences and build infrastructure that supports internal cognitive work. As modern travelers prioritize deep cognitive restructuring, they require immediate, active engagement with the ancient heritage sites they visit. Local development initiatives face an immediate challenge, balancing the spiritual integrity of a site against the need for scalable international access. This creates the authenticity paradox. Scaling international access to a sacred location naturally degrades the exact spiritual value that travelers arrive to experience. Conventional commercial resorts lack the architectural and operational design to resolve this tension. Managing sacred environments without commodifying them requires a new operational framework. The Temple Stay program offers a direct structural antithesis to standard commercial hospitality. The legacy hospitality sector relies heavily on the tourist gaze, an expectation that the visitor remains a detached observer. Resorts physically and socially isolate the traveler, keeping them separate from the host culture to prioritize frictionless comfort. While commercial settings enforce rigid boundaries, the monastic environment actively dismantles observational barriers. The physical and social distance between the visitor and the cultural ecosystem collapses entirely. The traveler transitions from an outside spectator into an integrated component of the site itself. True psychological reconfiguration requires participants to cross a specific threshold, moving past simple novelty-seeking behavior. This transition begins with the requirement of disciplined physical labor, anchoring the visitor in the immediate reality of the ecosystem. It extends through highly structured communal meal practices, such as balwu gangyang, which enforce mindfulness and resource awareness. These acts are further reinforced by early morning meditation, acting as a strict structural tool for cognitive transition. Through this rigorous behavioral architecture, the visitor drops the identity of a passive consumer and assumes the role of an active practitioner. Sustained presence through rigorous discipline drives authentic psychological reconfiguration. Passive relaxation does not produce this effect. A pervasive misconception in the tourism sector defines sustainability strictly as environmental mitigation, reducing carbon footprints or limiting physical waste. Regenerative hospitality outlines a framework that extends far beyond physical conservation. It is operationalized by the internal state of the participant, specifically their intent. The participant actively pursues cognitive clarity, bringing a disciplined focus to the environment. This intent establishes a profound interdependence. The traveler relies on the sacred environment for structure, while the site is sustained by the traveler's respectful engagement. Securing the future of heritage sites requires prioritizing this internal cognitive work rather than simply managing physical capacity. Empirical data confirms this mass migration toward immersive psychological transformation. This chart tracks international wellness participation over a multi-year axis. Internal sector scans document a 27% year-over-year increase in participants selecting these specific monastic environments. During this exact period, standard commercial satisfaction indices have remained almost entirely flat. Success in the wellness sector is no longer measured by brief satisfaction. The new defining metric is the depth of longitudinal perspective transformation. This aggressive growth anomaly proves that consumers are actively selecting and paying for environments that facilitate cognitive restructuring over traditional vacation metrics. Heritage sites can no longer be viewed as static museums or backdrops for leisure. They function as vital infrastructure for cognitive restructuring. These environments offer structured pathways toward internal change, completely circumventing the constraints of conventional tourism. The transition from external consumption to internal transformation is a permanent structural shift in global travel. Analyzing this shift requires strict academic methodology, establishing a clear separation between marketing trends and authentic psychological reconfiguration.